more. We're joined by Karin Lukas, a journalist in Eisenach, Germany. Thanks so much for speaking to us. I mean, were you shocked by this attack, or has there been something kind of ominous in Germany with the very visible rise of far-right parties?
I have to say we were all shocked when we got the news because it was an incredible number of victims. But it has to be said, it is the third major deadly attack in Germany within a year. We saw the killing of a politician who openly stand up for immigration and was killed last summer. We saw a deadly attack in autumn in Halle, close by, where the killer tried to get into a synagogue and during a time of celebration and tried to kill Jews in the synagogue. Luckily, the door was locked and he couldn't get in, but he killed two people, innocent people, on the street. So this was already the third time, and I think by now, everyone in Germany knows that it's not a rhetorical question. Just politicians like to talk about that there is a fear, is a real threat from the right. Far extremists, but that is it's actually really happening. Last weekend we saw the picture. There were 12 suspected far-right extremists arrested, and they apparently had plotted major attacks on Muslims, right. And they kind of had the aim to create like a civil war situation in Germany.
That, I mean, and they had planned to mimic what they'd seen in New Zealand and the horrendous attack there as well. But I mean, what will it take then to actually curb this kind of violence in Germany? And might it be time for the country to consider expanding its already very strict anti-hate speech and anti-propaganda laws?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be said that the political debate in the last couple of years, since the refugee crisis started in 2015, the politicians used the language and talked about a wave of refugees coming into Germany. And I think the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, always tried to kind of not get too far in this discussion. But I think by now the politicians have understood, by giving into popularist views like the AfD, we heard that who just talk openly again, not only against immigration, but against people with foreign origin. And that it's like, as Angela Merkel said, it's a poison in the society, hate and racism, which is in the society. So they talk, they don't act necessarily, but there is too much talk going on in the internet, in the networks, where you can't control, where it gets very extreme.
Indeed. And you know, some say, I have to ask you this since you are a journalist, some say part of the issue in Germany is that there are members of the German police and security forces in particular who are quite sympathetic to right-wing nationalism. Do you think that's part of the problem here?
I don't think we can go as far as to say that it's like a systematic problem. But you're right, there were cases of policemen who openly said things, racist things. And I think within the last half year, we could see that the government tries to be much more strict in checking who is allowed to become a policeman and what is not only not politically correct to say, but to be much more strict in checking who is allowed to become a policeman.
Right. Karin Lukas, thank you so much for joining us there from Eisenach. We appreciate it.